Alright, hey you guys. So today we're going to go ahead and have some chicken. Of course I'm going to throw it on the grill. It's nice outside, so I figured why not smoke it. I finally cut off my air conditioner. I have a great breeze going on, so I figured, hey, why in the world am I going to heat up my house when I can stick it outside? Okay, so Pitmaster Nean decided we're going to do a chicken. I had one in the freezer that was on the edge that needed to go ahead and be cooked, so I decided I'll cook one and give one away to my little friend and to my grandmother. So one I'm going to spatchcock, which is aka butterfly, and the other one I'm just going to roast it whole so you guys can see the difference. Somebody was asking me what exactly is spatchcocking. It is basically butterflying a chicken. You take the chicken and you go along the face of it, right here along the spine, and you just cut straight down. Got that. Cut it all the way through. Then you just turn around and do it again on the other side. Use a very sharp knife. Some people use kitchen shears. I have a pair here, but they're not as sharp as I like them. So I figured let's just go willy-nilly and go with a knife. Sometimes old school is the best way to do it. And as you see, just cut it out. Now, me personally, I like to cut off that little fat that's hanging down there between the legs. Clean it up a little bit. And all you do is you flip it over. Bam. Take it and flatten it. Put your weight on it. And crack. Did you hear it crack? And you flatten it. And lay it flat, just like that. It's already been cleaned up. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and get my seasonings together. I like to take my seasonings and season the undercarriage of it and then turn around and put some of it underneath the skin so it gets all up in there. Yeah, y'all can't see my face, but I'm doing the motion. You know what it is. Rub all that goodness in. Let it sit for a few minutes while I'm cranking up the grill, and then we're good to go. I'll be back in just a moment and show you the seasoning and how I prepare it, and also where to put the thermometer. Alright, so what I like to do for mine is I like to take some salted butter. You can use unsalted, but since you're trying to season the meat, I said go ahead and go salted. Take some salted butter, then your seasonings. So I'm going to use some onion powder. Roughly about, well, since I'm doing 2 chickens, I'm just making a bigger batch of it. So about 2 tablespoons. I have my onion powder, about the same. So about 2 tablespoons of onion powder and garlic powder. My new best friend, of course, minced onions. It's your way of getting some extra onion up in there without having to deal with crying and everybody thinking you're going through a breakup. Please don't read into anything into the music in the background. I'm just vibing. Also, I love coarse ground black pepper. It's basically what you have in the big old churn style thing, but this way we don't have to deal with cracking and crunching and everything. Also, this is my best friend in the whole wide world. It's a garlic stirring paste. It's already a puree of garlic. Just add that in there. And I'm going to do Italian herbs as well. And kind of go to taste. And then I love using kosher salt. I'm going to do about a tablespoon. Remember, it's not just for one bird, it's for 2, so. And you know your body, if you got high blood pressure and you ain't supposed to be having all this sodium, what does that mean? Lower it for yourself. But as for me and my household, we gonna do it every day. So just mix it up really good. how nice and creamy it is. If there's any other seasonings that you want to use, you can always do it. Some people like lemon pepper chicken. Some want to do like a traditional poultry seasoning with this sage. I just like to keep it simple, so this way we can kind of make it whatever we want to make it. And I can have it for more than one day. So tonight we're going to eat it with some roasted red potatoes. Tomorrow I can have it with a salad. We'll just back in a second to season it. All right, I'm back. So everything's all mixed up. We have our butter. I don't know if you guys remember or not, whenever I did the smoking for Labor Day, and I showed you how I did the brisket, and I do a rub. Well, what I have in here, remember those old sugar shakers that they have at like diners and stuff? I found one. It has great big holes on here, so whenever you want to do your seasoning or your rubs, I like to put them in a jar. That's a mixture of salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, some ground pepper, some paprika, and a secret ingredient that I just can't tell you about. So I love y'all so much. I don't want to have to come find me. So what we do is we're going to take our chicken and we're going to sprinkle some of this all in here. And it has minced onions in there as well. And like I said, the reason I like to use this one is because if you use minced onions, or if you're doing another kind of meat, you want to use like crushed red pepper or anything like that, it doesn't get caught up in those smaller holes. So you always want to season the cavity. Okay. Put it all up in there, rub it on in there. Sometimes you see these little pockets right there. I'll go ahead and dump some in there if I can get it in there and rub my finger around. Okay? So here we go. We got the butterfly chicken. I'll go ahead and flip her over. And then what you do is, you can either go from the bottom part of the chicken right here, down by the tail end, just slide your finger up through there, up under the skin. Take some of your butter mixture, and you just spread it up underneath there. Alright. Slide it all up through there. And you can either take your hand and go up underneath it, or just use the skin and go on the top. And you're just going to rub it all over the breast. That butter also is going to help whenever the chicken starts to roast and it hits those peaks in the temperature. It'll help make the skin all thick and crispy. And remember, we seasoned the butter, so it has all of that good garlic and the oregano and thyme and rosemary from the paste in there. So all of that is extra seasoning. I mean, if you think about it, it's a bird. It's a big piece of meat. If you only put seasoning on one part, that's the part that's going to be seasoned, not the whole thing. I like to also go ahead and put some over there on the leg quarter. So you put that up underneath there. Slide it around. Hit that thigh. You put enough in there, most times you can make it down there to the drumstick. Like I said, just think about it as season it from both ways. Hit it from both sides. Alright. Once we got it like that. And of course you still want to try and get like on the wings. And then I still take some of this butter and I rub the outside of the chicken with it. And this is also going to help with the skin getting nice and crispy and browning. And you see I got my gloves on, safety first. And also we ain't got to worry about getting all up underneath my nails. I'm trying to let my nails grow back out. And then there's nothing nastier than having all that gook up underneath your fingernails. Ew. Alright. Then I'm going to take the wing and just fold the tip under like that. Okay. That's all good. Now over here, we have the whole chicken. We'll take the seasoning. Of course, we're going to season the cavity. Get the inside of it. Put a considerable amount in there. Just rub it around. Make sure we got it all seasoned up. Somebody was asking me before, do I like to trim my meat? Sometimes I like to leave some of the fat on. When you got like these big little, seem like some draws hanging off your chicken. I like to clip those off. Sometimes even where the tail was at, I'll cut that off as well. Because if the temperatures get too hot on the grill, or if you're doing it in the oven, then what you'll tend to find is it'll burn. It's not a big deal, but, you know, let's try to make it pretty. So I'm just going to put a little bit more in here. I couldn't really feel it in there when I was rubbing it around. Oftentimes when people do whole ones, they like to stuff it with like an onion or some celery or a bay leaf. Since I'm smoking it, more so than roasting it, I'm just going to leave it empty because I really want all that smoke flavor to get in there and fill it up. So, we've done the inside on this one. Once again, stick that finger up underneath there. Just put her in there. Make room. Take a bit of butter goodness. Slide it up in there. Put it in there. Just massage it. Now the whole chicken is probably going to take about an extra 30-45 minutes for it to cook up versus the spatchcock, aka butterflied one. Because that one's wide open and ready for business, so it doesn't have to work as hard. And you just rub that butter all over. We got it up in there. You can see it up underneath the skin, and you can feel it when you're actually working with it, so you know where to press it through to. Okay. Pull the dress back down. Let's get the rest of this butter out of here. Yeah. Rub it over, lotion it up, just like you lotion yourself up. So normally, people like to, again, the difference between roasting and smoking. Whenever I'm smoking a chicken, most times I don't tie it up, because I want it open and I like to allow the smoke to get in here in the cavity so I actually fill it up and you can get all that seasoning in there. But if I was just roasting it on the grill, wasn't really worried about if I was just doing it over charcoal and I wasn't going to put wood on there, then I would go ahead and tie it up with some kitchen twine. You know, you just tie your legs up. If it's a really big one or if it's been broken down too much, you do your wings and the legs. And like I said, since we're just smoking, we're good to go. There we go. Also, another thing I meant to mention earlier. Remember that back we cut out? Don't throw it away. The holidays are coming up. What does that mean? We need some dressing. We're going to need some gravy. Put it in a pot with some water, an onion, celery, bay leaf, maybe bell pepper, and some seasonings. Let it boil up, and you got stock. Yes. So we're just going to put our little final little dusting of seasoning on here. The wings on this one, just going to tuck back. Let's see if it'll cooperate. Sometimes they always want to fly back around. And when that happens, then I will get some twine. Make sure I have some seasoning in here. In a second, I'm just going to tie right here on this part and bring the wings together so that they don't burn. All right, let me get ready to go build up my fire, get it ready, and we'll be getting ready to smoke some chicken. Can't wait. Hold on. All right, lastly, before we take it outside, we're going to insert our thermometers in here so we can make sure that we got the temperature correct before we take it out. For the whole chicken, it's great to either put it here on the breast and you get it as close to the bone as you can. Good way is to touch it and then come away from it. Stick it all the way in. That's one way. The other way we can do it on a large piece of meat. So on a chicken, it's also the thickest part is the thigh. So you stick it in here like right by the joint and you get it into the thickest piece of the thigh without touching the bone. So once again, you try and feel the bone and then you pull away from it. There we go. Okay, so that's one. On the butterfly chicken, it's a little bit easier. It cooks so quickly, so we're just going to do it on the breast. There goes the bone, come away, and just slide it all the way in. Put these little babies up. I'm going to take it outside, and then we'll get it going. I'll be right back, guys. All right, you guys. It's been about an hour and a half. And there they go. They're just about finished. They probably got about 10-15 minutes left on them. Just going to do a little lemon juice on top. Alright. Ooh, I don't have the grip I thought I did. I need some strength classes. But there we go. They're about done. You can see the whole one. And there goes spatchcocky. Or butterfly, sorry. Alright. I'll show you the dinner table later.